Greetings to everyone world over. Green morning, green afternoon, green evening, all our brothers and sisters across the globe. Green morning in Canada, Latin America, United States, all the places. Green afternoon, it's post-lunch, European Union. And then, of course, when we talk about Bharat, when we talk about India, South Asia, Southeast Asia, green evening and a great evening and a wonderful, beautiful evening to all of you. Let's travel to a wonderful, wonderful place, which has got greenery, which is green, which is serene. It has got art, craft, culture, values, traditions, dances, music, education, skills. All these buzzwords are coming to my mind, and I'm sharing with all of you. We are traveling today to Northeast India, 8 beautiful states. We have got Tripura, we have got Manipur, we've got Assam, we have got Meghalaya, we've got Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, and then of course I'm going to Mizoram and then finally to Sikkim. So 8 beautiful states which we have got in the Northeast, wonderful people and wonderful cuisine. I can feel the fragrance of wonderful dinner right over there. Let's go. Let's enjoy the feast at the cost of Mr. Tyrone, our advisor in Northeast part of India. So ladies and gentlemen, International Chamber for Service Industry extends a very warm welcome. We dedicate ourselves totally to the services sector. When you think about tourism, hospitality, aviation, when you think about education, health, wellness, retail, IT, telecom, all these are services. And we are very happy to share with all of you our chamber. It brought, with the help of the non-resident Indian, India's first finishing school for children, for youth, for boys and girls, to be prepared to go globally and to travel world over and to be part of the education, global education ecosystem. So first service industry finishing school in 1994. With complete focus on communication skills, personality, collaboration, creativity, curiosity, innovation, critical thinking, design thinking, logical thinking, continuous thinking, positive thinking, with the help of music, dance, humor, fun, happiness, passion. And these are the young boys and girls. They are world over in different countries, in different continents. More than 52,000 youth have gone from our hands. More than 35,000 teachers have gone. It's wonderful. Look at these amazing young boys and girls from the Northeast part of India. 2001 onward, this journey started. And last 21 years, when I look at them, it's something is amazing. During this pandemic, doctors, nurses, paramedical, they were doing great job. And similar way, our chamber took on the responsibility. We will support the education ecosystem because 1.65 billion children, they were away from schools, colleges, universities, educational institutions, ITIs, polytechnics, skill centers, whatever we can think of. The only thing this pandemic has done is that our brick and mortar finishing school has gone totally digital now. And now, over here, you have got music, you have got dance, you have got games, gamification, happiness, humor, fun, creativity, curiosity, storytelling. And nowadays, people are talking about graphic novels as well. Stimulation, passion, talent display, stress-free education, technology-based education, vocational and skill-based education, outdoor nature-based education. Today, we are taking you to nature because the Northeast has got maximum green cover in India. Why education should not be relevant to our day-to-day living and our life? Whatever we are doing since morning till we go to sleep, that should be the part of my education, my skills, and the outcome of these two. Tomorrow morning, you'll meet our president all the way from Woodbury University, Burbank, California. He will be there with us tomorrow morning at 9:30. Every Sunday. Nowadays, we are talking about holistic leadership in education. And don't forget, if you want to pick up a scholarship, if you want to travel abroad, if you're interested to get some kind of a student exchange program, Rotary, Lions Club, anything of that kind, tomorrow evening is a deliberation with non-resident Indians and eminent vice chancellors and educationists from the world over, where we are going to have a deliberations tomorrow evening at the same time, 8 p.m., Digital Universities of the New Age, Opportunities and Challenges. Also, you would be joining certain people from abroad who would tell you what are the openings for you world over. Monday, we bring a concept of human library. That means your life story, and that is your own story. Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, AVSM, PVSM, former Adjutant General of the Indian Army, and former Governor of Tripura, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. He will be sharing the vision Monday evening at 8 p.m. Tuesday is going to be once again very important. If you are interested to become teacher, counselor, trainer, coach, master trainer, you want to go abroad, you are interested to be a part of somewhere education ecosystem, maybe you're neuro coach, maybe you're cellular health facilitator, maybe you're psychotherapist, your music therapist, anybody, whosoever is interested to be part of Global Educator family. We are going to have 3 programs on Tuesday to facilitate and accommodate everybody. One program we will have at 10:30 in the morning, second program at 12:30 in the afternoon, and then at 8 p.m. in the evening. Making education relevant, education and skills, head to heart to hands. And this is the opening page of our web portal. You can see it, icsiindia.in. You will get so much of inspiration that all the sustainable development goals, 17 of them, we have taken over here as a part of 75-year celebrations of India's independence. So ladies and gentlemen, Napoleon Hill, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. There is my mentor, there is my teacher, and there is somebody whom I really respect in the northeast part of India at this point of time. I wish him a good health. I wish him early recovery. That is Dalip Mukherjee. And Honorable Dalip Mukherjee, I would say, because he's a legend, living legend of education. He's a strategist. He is all the time thinking how to reform education, how to enrich education, how to empower education, how to repackage education, and what good can be done in education so that India becomes the global leader. I'm pretty happy to share with all of you that during this pandemic, we have completed 1,501 webinars. We started on 25th of March, and 1,501 webinars we have completed today at 7 p.m. Just before this, we had Ayurveda for the global wellness. So this is your channel. Enjoy it and be a part of it. If you wish to share anything, any point of time with regard to Northeast, we extend a very hearty welcome and a very warm welcome to Mr. Tyrone and all the dignitaries who are joining us today. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome to Mr. Tyrone and all the dignitaries. With these words, I hand you over to Mr. Tyrone because I'm traveling, and at this point of time, I'm in transit. I do not want to lose my so-called digital connection. So I will go off the camera so that the strength comes to Mr. Tyrone and he takes on the program further. With these words, hearty welcome to everybody world over, and the Golden Triangle, which is joining us over here with the efforts of Mr. Tyrone Please go ahead.
Thank you, Doctor, for that lovely welcome. And I hope you have a safe trip wherever you're heading in North India. I'd like our three beautiful guests today is Josephine Lyngdoh, Mebapyntngen, Charissa Rumnong. All three work at the Mary Rice Center for Special Education, Shillong.
Thank you, sir.
I've been personally at the school, and I've seen how the school operates with children who are mentally challenged. And actually, these three people and the other teachers are crusaders for the mentally challenged children in Shillong. So I would like to welcome all three of them and hear their stories and their work at the Mary Rice Center for Special Education. Uh, I would like to start with Josephine Lyngdoh. Josephine?
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Tyrone. And thank you,
Good
Dr.
evening.
Gulshan, for giving us this opportunity and this platform to express our views and thoughts about special education.
Yes, Josephine. You know, when I had come over to your school last week, I was actually very impressed with the way all of you were working with children. I saw Meba working with somebody. I saw Clarissa working with a little child. I saw you working as well. And then I took you away and had a little chit chat with you regarding your work. But I believe what you're doing along with the others is actually giving these children a fair chance at life. Could you tell us something about, your work and how did you become interested in special education?
Okay, let me start first with my journey into becoming a special educator. I started, I was being introduced to the field of disability at a very young age. That was way back in 1996. I was just in class 8. So my mother encouraged me to go and volunteer at a center at that point of time, it was the Vocational Training Center for something like that, Vocational Training Center for the Handicapped. Then later on, it's now named as Roylam Livelihood something. So I went and after that, there was no looking back. I was so interested. And then later on, I did my graduation in social work, and later I went to specialize in neuromuscular and locomotor impairment at Jadavpur University. So, after receiving the training, it made me more equipped to work with the children. But how do our work begins? So in Mary Rice, we usually start with from the OPD section where children comes in, and we have, the special educator and the therapist are there to do the full assessment and to do the history taking. Then after that, an intensive, not exactly intensive, but we do an assessment. After the assessment, an intensive intervention is given to each child. So if the child is looking for admission, then we prepare the child for classroom through that intervention that they come. Then after that, they are admitted in the school, and that's how their journey starts in Mary Rice. So that's how we work in Mary Rice.
That's right, Josephine. When I met you that day, you did tell me a very personal story. I'm sure all the viewers would like to hear your story.
Actually, it's very personal, and I didn't want to bring it up, but then, okay, I will just share a little bit why I want to give back to the society. It's because I have a sister, she's elder to me, and she passed away. Now it's like more than 30 years, I think. So she was born as a very regular kid, very healthy child. But then at the age of 8 years, she went to school. She had fever, in fact, but then there was some tests or some exam that was going on in school. My mother thought that, it's just fever, so let her just attend and then she will come back home. Then from school, they took her to Nazareth Hospital, which is here in Shillong. So she, I think it was a very serious one. So that's why from school, they took her to the hospital. And then later on, my parents were informed that she was admitted in the hospital. And, after a few days, the doctor told my parents that they had to remove the excess water which has accumulated in the brain. My parents, because they believe whatever the doctor will tell them, so they allowed. And after that, it changed my parents' life. It did change my life as well. She, I think from what my mother said, they said that the doctor has removed excess water from the brain. Therefore, the brain has been damaged. And since then, she became unconscious for many, many months. And when she regained her consciousness, she was in coma. I mean, she was in coma, but when she regained her consciousness, she was in a vegetable stage. And for 14 long years, she was bedridden. And that's how I grew up to see her, because at that point of time, my parents were not really aware of any services or any, therapy or anything for my sister. So when I saw my sister growing up, and thankfully we had maids who were very good to help her. My mother was always there to help her. My father was also there. And growing up, seeing her in bed, it just made me feel, I don't know, it touched me so badly. So, and then I had a very encouraging mother. I mean, I have a very encouraging mother who encouraged me to be in this field, to give back to the society, because I'm sure there are many, many parents who are really, having a hard time raising their child as a special needs child. So what I am doing right now is just giving back to what I had, seen my sister and seen my mother, what they went through all those years. So that's how the journey begins.
Well, thank you for sharing that wonderful story. I mean, that story that has brought about a transformation in you, and you're giving back to society. Wonderful, Josephine.
Thank you.
Children who need with special needs actually have suffered the most, because while the others did have some learning taking place, the children with special needs were just at home for at least 2 years. And
yes,
it has affected them very much. Anyway,
it did. It did.
Yes, I'm glad that Mary Rice is doing a wonderful job with children with special needs. I'd like to know a bit of Charissa Rumnong. Charissa?
Yes, sir. Yes, fine.
Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you hear?
I'd like to hear your story. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can start, right?
You're a physiotherapist.
Yes.
Yeah. You're a physiotherapist. What's the link between the body and the mind?
The body and the mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall I start with my journey and then later
Yes,
we can
please.
get into it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, viewers, my fellow panelists, Mr. Tyrone and Dr. Gulshan. Thank you for having me here in this platform. And it is an immense pleasure to be part of this webinar. I am a pediatric physiotherapist currently working at Mary Rice Center, as you've mentioned. It has been a 10 years journey for me working in this field. So being in this field for 10 long years has really helped me not only on my profession, but also on gathering more information with regards to education and the entire holistic development of a child with special needs. So, and it has also, constructed me to be more skillful and and it has helped me shaped me who I am today. So I've always had this inclination towards this kind of work. So this is what has led me to where I am now. So when you say the link between the the brain and the the brain and the development. So, when it comes to children, being a pediatric physiotherapist, the child, this is the critical age where, the child, the brain is maturing, it's more plastic. And when they get more, the earlier the intervention, the earlier uh, the uh, the exercises that we give. Hence, it plays a critical role in the brain development. So there is the link between that.
Thank you, Charissa. I mean, I'm glad you brought in that connection between the body and the mind. Thank you. I'd like to bring in Mebapyntngen. Is Meba around? Meba? Meba, are
Okay.
you
Can
around?
you hear me?
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes, Meba. Let's hear your story. We've heard two stories. Let's hear the third story.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Tyrone, sir, and
Good
good
evening,
evening,
Meba.
Dr. Gulshan, for allowing us to be in this platform so that we can share our experience as physios and as educators in this field. So actually, I've been there in Mary Rice it's been around 18 years now. And I am a physiotherapist. Actually, when I never thought that there are many children who requires who are having problem with physical or intellectual disability. But when I came back and then from my studies and I joined in this in the center, Mary Rice Center, I realized that there are lots of children who requires a intervention, and then even children with intellectual disability as well requires intervention from the physical part. So so it's been 18 years and I've evolved. Actually, what I studied as a physiotherapist and what I have evolved along the years with experience working with different kinds of children, because children, they come with their individual I will not say that they are having specific, like the problems that they have are like they are but actually all of them, they have their individual needs, individual problems. So accordingly, what we do in Mary Rice is we assess the child, and then after assessing the child, then we see what is the need of the child. Then from there, we work together along with the educators. Then accordingly, then we work for each child. So this is what we do. What to say is even the children with intellectual disability, we work with children with autism, we work with children with cerebral palsy in Mary Rice. We do have then actually when we work with them, we realize that even the physical aspect of each child plays an important role in the learning So that's why we work side by side along with the educators. We have an individual plan for each child. So that's what we do in Mary Rice.
Well, that's wonderful. When you said you have an individual plan for every child, it makes it so unique. Wonderful. And I like the word you use. You said, I have evolved, So it just shows the amount of progress you have made in these 18 years. That's wonderful,
Yes.
Meba. Wonderful. I'd like to bring back Josephine. Thank you, Meba. Josephine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Josephine. Can you tell us a bit of the challenges you face in school with children and whatever challenge that may be with you there as a special educator?
Okay. I will start first with the challenges that we are facing as educators, and I'll bring later, the later part will be with the children. We as educators in the northeastern part of India, the first and the major challenge is we are very poorly paid, because the amount of work that we put in and the salary that we get is really not, it's really not up to the mark. And why we are in this field is because we are very passionate about what we do. And in fact, for me, I love what I'm doing. I love being around children with special needs. I mean, there was a time I was also, teaching in the mainstream school, but I was not able to connect with any of these children. But the moment I was in a special school, I'm able to connect, so that connection has really given me, and I don't know, it's something which is very close to my heart. So that is one of the major challenges that we as educators in the northeastern part are facing. The second thing is that the government, the government, be it at the state, be it at the center, it's like they know that there are children with disability, or they know that there are children with special needs who they also have the right to be educated. But the thing is, of course, these children receive grant and aid, they receive a lot of things. But, the focus is on the children, but not on the educators. See, we, from the ministry, we are supposed to be receiving a grant for the educators. But that grant, it's like we have not received in so many years. It's like the last one we received was in 2016. And that also, it never comes like annually. It like comes in, I don't know. I don't even remember. So the thing is, if the center or the state does not take care of the educators, if there are no educators, then how do you expect these children will be given intervention, or how will they learn, and how will the school run without educators? So that has to also be kept in mind, because we as educators also, we need to live a life. We have responsibilities that we have to carry on. So therefore, I really request the stakeholders, both at the center and at the state level, that there are children who need education, and there are also educators who need to train and teach these children, and educators also need to live and have responsibilities. That is one of the very major challenges that we as educators face in the northeastern part of India. The second challenge is that from the children, I will not say children, but it's from the parents. Because see, most parents, some of them are in denial. Of course, they come to us. Some of them come with a proper diagnosis. Some of them because they're being referred to from the school, or some of them they want, because they feel that their child is not doing very well, so they come to us. So when they come to us, and there are other parents also who would go to get a proper diagnosis, but then when the intervention is given from school, it has to be carried out at home as well. But what happens is, most parents, they feel that because their child is in school, it's enough. It's like, parents will hardly do anything for their child. But then again, there are parents who are very, very supportive. I'm not saying that all parents are like that. There are some parents, and there are some parents, we know that their child has the potential, has the ability to achieve so much in life. But then because of the parent, the child is not regular in school. The child, it's like the parents, we find it very difficult to communicate with parents. So this is one of the challenges that we as educators at school also we face. And then I feel, you know, at Mary Rice, it's like I feel like Mary Rice is the only school where we are after parents. You know, it's like we send an information or we send a home program. Parents are least bothered to get back to us to tell us how are we supposed to do. But we are the one to be calling parents to tell them, have you done this for your child? Are you doing this for your child? It's like that, you know, it's like the other way around. Because when you look at it, if there are in a family, if there are siblings with special need and a non-special need child, most of the parents would give all the preferences to the non-special need child. Let me state an example. There was this family who has 3 children, and the youngest one is the child with special need. Because of the pandemic, 2 years we have lost. I mean, we were not able to do so much. Of course, everything was delivered online, but then again, you can understand a child with special need and online, it's like a big question mark. How much will the child achieve also? It's like very doubtful. But then now that the school have reopened, the mother of this child has stopped sending the child to school. So I so happened to meet this mother as I was coming home. I happened to meet her on my way home. Then I asked her, like, why are you not sending your child to school? Then she was like, miss, because of the pandemic, everything is like, you know, difficult for the child. He's not able to learn and all. So I said, now that the school are open, so why are you not sending him to school? Then she was like, I don't know, if there's another lockdown, it will be such a waste of time. She said that it will be such a waste of time. Then I looked at her and I said, why will it be a waste of time? And I'm sure there will be no lockdown because we have lost so much. And it's like everybody is trying to regain whatever they have lost. So I don't think there will be any lockdown. Then she went on to say that, I will think about it and we'll see. Then I said, how many children do you have? Then she said 3. I said, so this child is which number? So she said, he's the youngest. Then I just probed. Then I said, what are the other 2 children doing? And she said, they are in school. So I said, are they attending school? She's like, yeah, they are attending. I said, are they attending now? She's like, yes, I'm sending them to school. Then I said, why are you sending them to school and you're not sending him to school? You know, the youngest one, she's keeping him at home, and the other 2 siblings, she's sending them to school. So I said, this is unfair. What you're doing to your child, it's unfair. It's like, just because the other 2 children are not special needs, so it means that they should get all the benefits. And what about the child with special need? In fact, he requires all the more. So then after that, you know, the parent was not able to say anything to me. So she just walked by. And I just kept, you know, as I was walking home that day, I was just thinking to myself, like, if there are so many parents who treat their own children, you know, there's a bias between their own, I mean, you know, there's some kind of partiality between her own children, like the one who has no disability are given all the rights. And what about this child? He will be the one who will be, you know, suffering the most, because he will be requiring all the help. So, but if he attends school, we would be the one to teach him to be independent, but the parent is not understanding that. So this is somewhere where we are trying, from Mary Rice, we are trying so hard to give an awareness to parents, like, give them a chance, because they will also, they will amaze you. If proper intervention is given, if foundation is given, they will just amaze you. So these are the challenges that we as educators are facing.
Well, Josephine, you know, getting a decent salary, okay, is one of the a very justified demand, okay, because I've seen the work y'all do, okay, and it's wonderful to see the way y'all work, all right, and I hope the government is a little more sympathetic and understanding. I did bring up this issue with the Dr. Gulshan, and he said a letter needs to be written to the ministers, Mrs. Smriti Irani. I think we'll get down to that, okay, and hopefully something will good come about it.
I just hope so. I really hope so, because it's really a high time now.
Yes.
Mr.
Charissa?
Mr.
Yes,
Tyrone, can
Meba,
I
go
just
ahead.
add on that? The thing is, see, we elsewhere, apart from India, they have more special educators than children with disability in schools, so that we can give them the best. But the problem in our country and in our state, especially, where we have more kids, we have more children with disability, and a teacher who is given the responsibility of teaching many kids in a class. So how much can she deliver, even if she has planned a lot for the class? If there are children, because children come with their own problems, with their own shortcomings. So if they have their own, like I said earlier, all these programs are planned according to the need of the child. We cannot just teach. What we do in Mary Rice is we teach individually, even if the child is placed in the same class. Because of the age group, what you do in Mary Rice is we have children with same age group in one class. We don't keep them according to their ability, but we keep them according to the age. So the teacher has to plan accordingly, has to plan the class accordingly. And what difficulty she faces is she has to teach individually to each child. So whatever she has planned, whatever she is supposed to deliver, she has delivered. But how much can she give individual attention to each class when the time period is very limited? So in that way, it causes a lot of stress on the teacher as well. So, and when the pay is very less, when the pay is very less, what we do is we faces a lot of difficulty, and teachers keeps on leaving the. So how, as much as we train teachers, again, if because they cannot take the pressure from the work, they leave, and in the end, the children are at the receiving end. So this is what we face. So it's very challenging for the teachers especially, and it causes a lot of what to say, in the end the children are the ones that who face all the I mean, who will get the outcome out of this. So if the government can do something about this, because this is what we are facing, and because of this, what we do, the difficulty that the teacher faces is, in the end, I would say that if the government, or if the stakeholders will take the initiative of addressing this issue, it will be very helpful.
Meba, can I just interrupt?
Because whatever planning, yes.
Actually, the stakeholders that we are talking about, there are some stakeholders also when we have expressed our grievances about our salary. The saddest part is that they are on a voluntary basis. So, you know, they're doing voluntary work. So it becomes very difficult for them to even, I don't know, to even raise this issue up, because how and where are they going to look for funds? So we need people who are very dynamic to be in the, I mean, you know, the people who are looking after the welfare of the educators and the children with special need. We really need someone who are dynamic and proactive to go out of their way to help us. Because see, at the end of the day, we cannot be doing fundraising, we cannot be doing the schoolwork, we cannot teach the children also at the same time and do fundraising. It's a very difficult task. So if we have to do fundraising, then who will be in the classroom to teach the children? And children have to be, you know, it has to be every day. So if half of the time we are running after fundraising, then that means what are the children there in school for? So
All right,
that's what I want
Josephine,
to express my views.
Yeah, I do understand that problem, but like I discussed this with Dr. Gulshan, and he said we'll take it up with the minister. So let's give it a try. We're going to try that. Okay. Clarissa,
Okay.
yeah, is Charissa there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Yes.
Okay, we've heard Josephine and Meba speak about certain issues. Would you like to elaborate a little more?
I totally agree with both of them. See, the dedication and the passion that we have towards these kids, and the amount, I mean, and the salary that we are paid is peanuts. It's not even, forget about comparing it to peanuts also. I feel, we work our hearts and soul to, because their future is at our hands. So despite our dedication and passion and helping these kids with special needs, it seems like we are not even bothered about, our work that we do. And, the challenges that I faced personally when I entered into the field is, dealing with a child and parent, with the families, who a child who's not progressing in the future, any further. So that is a challenge that, I personally faced when I joined. But with time, moving, and with the experience that I have, being a therapist, it has helped me to deal with it. So I totally agree with what Meba and Josephine has said. If if the government and the other stakeholders take prior importance to these kind of challenges that we face, definitely we'll have a bright future, not only for us who work in the field, but also for children in their future. I would like to put few words like a child with special needs will inspire us to be special kind of person. Not a, we should have that in mind. That will definitely inspire us to work more, and that will make us more, be good at what we do.
I do
Because
understand, Charissa. Uh,
because
yes,
all kids are born geniuses, so we cannot say that just because they are children with special needs, so we need not look into the welfare of these kids or welfare of those working with these children, you see.
I, I I do appreciate what you just said, and I'm sure the government will be looking at all these challenges and finding a way to go forward, because at the end of the day, everyone needs to be given a fair chance, and I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay,
and
we will take it up.
yeah, and one more
Yeah, go
thing,
ahead.
like, we, and with, if there is any improvement in the financial structure, I think we would have more therapists or more educators and other expertise in the field, and it would be helpful, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. You're very correct over there. So, I'm sure, at the end of the day, everyone has to be given an opportunity to make progress in their studies, be it children who are going to normal schools or the ones who are, let's say, mentally challenged. Uh,
Yes.
uh,
Sir,
yeah,
yes, sir.
yes, Meba.
Sir, I would like to say that we at Mary Rice, what we do is we have children with sometimes with very challenging behaviors. So when we do have such kind of children, what we don't really just give up on that child, or we don't ask the parent like, see, this child is being very difficult, we cannot keep him in school. But what we do is we do talk to the parents, and then individually we address to those challenging behavior that a child has. We The therapists, the educators, they really find ways and means how to address that behavior, and it helps. Actually, there's no child that that the challenging behavior that requires medication, or he needs to be restrained. We don't find such kind of cases. I mean, there are children who really do not need physical restraint. We don't really physically restrain a child. So if there is proper intervention, if there is proper when you work as a team between the parents, the educators, and the therapists, we feel that we can do so much for that child. So that's what I just want to say, that we at the center, we really address each child as an individual. So when people are not aware of what the work we do, it's very sad. And so that's what I just want to tell everyone, like, since this is a platform, so we are trying to tell what we do at the center.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I've seen for myself the way, in the manner in which all of you have been working, and I really salute the staff of Mary Rice. Okay, there's one thing I would like to know. You know, there are some children who are mild or moderate mentally challenged. What opportunities can they get in terms of employment when they become adults? Josephine?
See, when you talk about mild, moderate, and severe, all this begins with an early intervention. Even though, like, I would not address the severe part right now, but I would address the mild and moderate at the, at employment level. So when an intervention, it all starts at the intervention level. So when the intervention is given, and we see that parents are also working hand in hand with the school, definitely the child who is at a mild to moderate will be able to be employed anywhere. Okay, because what happens is, when the intervention is intense, we help that child cope up with we kind of train the child to adjust and to cope up with life. So therefore, when it comes to employment, I will not say anywhere and everywhere, but specifically, there are some areas that these children will be trained at, and they will get the chance for employment. Just like at Mary Rice right now, at the pre-vocational level, we have a housekeeping unit where, children with mild to moderate intellectual disability are being trained. So these children, after the training, we kind of, give what do I say? Network with some guest house and hotels which are here in Shillong, and we kind of they go for an intern. Then later on, when they do the internship there, then later on they are employed. And in fact, we have successful stories of many children who are in the housekeeping department as well as in the cookery and catering department in Mary Rice. They have been employed in many hotels. So that is one of the success that we, if an early intervention is given and the parents and the school works together. And for children who are at the severe level, see, for these children, what we do is we help them we train them to, to just kind of, there are some children who are able to just take care of themselves, and there's some children who are totally dependent on others. So for these children who can look after themselves, we train them accordingly. At least they don't become a burden to the family. So, but for those children who are at the severe level, so for those, what we do is we train the caregivers and the parents of how to look after them. So that's what we do.
Wonderful. And I'm happy to hear about the success stories you just mentioned in the guest houses and in the hotels in and around Shillong. Charissa, yes. Would you like to add a little more? Charissa?
Yes. Sorry. Hello.
Would you like to add a little bit more?
Yeah, as Josephine has rightly said, early intervention is the critical role. As I've mentioned earlier, early intervention plays a critical role in the early development and in the learning outcome of a child. So the earlier the intervention and the diagnosis, the better the learning outcome. See, learning is a cumulative process. So when you when you don't do the intervention as early as possible, or you don't attend to the needs and difficulties of the child, then it'll create a cascade of difficulties later in the later life. So hence, early intervention is a very critical, it plays an influencing role in the learning outcome of the child. And yeah, we've had kids with, intellectual disability who have been placed, who have been placed in certain restaurants. Then some are working with the government, So those are what, with the help of early intervention and with the work from cooperation from the parents. So yeah.
Wonderful. I'm glad you mentioned the word government. Some are working in the government. That's a
Yes.
good sign.
Yes.
Wonderful. Meba, would you like to add maybe another point or two?
Yes, sir. Like Josephine and Charissa had said earlier, that early intervention is very important. We really stressed on early intervention because when you intervene at an early stage, especially from the age of 0 to 5 years of age, we see a lot of improvement in the child. We do have cases where a child has been diagnosed as early as 4 months. So when you work with a child when the child is just 4 months old, we see a lot of changes in the child when he is at a later stage. But sometimes there are some parents who come at a very later stage, when the child is 7 or 8 years of age, and they expect a lot of they come with expectations. But like I said earlier, but if we intervene early, if we give the intervention at an early stage, we see a lot of improvement, because when a child is not being intervened, when the child is not being given any intervention, whether it's learning or whether it's physical, what happens is he has a lot of behavior. So such kind of behaviors hinders the learning, and it hinders the learning process of the child, and in that way it is affecting the child, and it's affecting the family as well. So it's really very important to intervene the child at a very early stage. And we really stressed on like our school, we have the early intervention unit, where we work intensively with children from 0 to 5 years of age. So that's the age where we really work. And when the child comes during that early intervention period, they need not come in a special, when they go to school, they need not be in a special school. They can either be in a regular school, and we support such kind of children. They come for support class, or we do work, we do go to the schools to help such the children. And what we do is, the only school that we see in Shillong at present is St. Edmund's School, where they take in children with disabilities. So, if you give them an intervention in early stage, such kind of children also can be absorbed in a regular school. So, like Josephine and Charissa had said earlier, early intervention is the best. And that's what one of the challenge is. When the children come at a later stage, we see the prognosis is very poor. So we cannot give, even if we give much from our side, we don't see that much of improvement in the child. So in that way, the satisfaction that we get is also like we are not really much satisfied with with our work. So that's it from my side.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned St. Edmund. About admitting children in St. Edmund's School. That's wonderful. I hope other schools do follow the lead and admit a few more children. One important question I want to know is, how much of an awareness is there in society? Meba, you could just elaborate a little?
I feel that the society at large is not very much aware of the disability. Only when they face such kind of problem with their individual, with their child, then only they are aware of the disability. Otherwise, I feel people are not at all aware, especially the government. I mean, it's everyone actually. Nobody is aware. So only when they are faced with a problem in their family, then only they are aware that about such kind of disability. A child has learning disability, or a child has something called autism, or a child has something called intellectual disability. because such kind of disability, it's not like we see only in children with, I mean, in families with low income. We find such kind of disabilities even in children of families who are elite officials, government officials. So even such kind of cases we see here in Shillong. So that's it from my side. If Josephine and Charissa can.
All right, Meba. Yeah. Charissa? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Charissa, would you suggest a couple of solutions to create a greater awareness in society?
Suggestion,
Charissa?
yeah. One is
Yeah.
we can sensitize, we can give, we can hold programs in the society with regards to disability. One suggestion I can give. And then yes, we can also, if we have if we have parents who have children with disability, we can sensitize them, and we can give them a kind of an awareness to what their child is facing. So one is like we can create an awareness program kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing.
Well,
And
yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, and then we can also, as Meba has said, the government too do not have much awareness unless and until, in their society or in their family, they have somebody who have certain disability, be it autism, be it intellectual disability, be it physical impairment or hearing impairment. So, in that way, if they have, we can just create kind of an awareness. It's like the pandemic. It affects everybody. So does disability. It does not leave. Now we see that it does not have an impact only on the low socioeconomic status, but also on the elite, in the high elite classes.
That's right. That's right, Charissa. You very rightly said. Josephine? Josephine?
Yes, Mr. Tyrone.
Yes, Josephine. I would like you to have your last word over here.
Regarding
the role of society.
Role of society. See, first of all, it's like very difficult because I'm just quoting from what Meba and Charissa has said, awareness in the society. It's like, over the years, we have done so many awareness programs, both in the school level, at the community level. So it's like awareness has been given, but I don't know why people are not really aware about this disability. So the thing is, I feel that if people are, they say charity begins at home. So just like that, if from the family are sensitized towards disability, and then, they spread it out, they talk about it, and therefore, at the society level, the awareness will be there, and then it will create some kind of what do I say, so that people will empathize with what people with or children with disability are facing. So I feel that it should all begin from the family, because like Meba stated, that only when the family is aware that their children are having some kind of difficulties, that's how they are aware of disability. But I feel that, from family to family, they spread through, it's like they spread an awareness among themselves and talk about it. Then that's how, slowly, I mean, it's not slowly also, because it's high time now that people should be aware. And this, I feel like, every school should have some kind of a curriculum where they kind of pay a visit and interact with children with special needs also, so that then that way children become, the other students, the children in the mainstream school become sensitized towards the disability sector. And because what happens is, in a school competition, they will invite all the schools in the whichever school is there in the community. But like for example, like the school that we are in, it's in Lamkra. So, you know, like these big schools, if they have, you know, inter school or inter sports, our school is never being invited. They feel like we, the children are not at par. So, but if the school themselves also give that opportunity for children to interact with the other children, so that way we can, you know, look out and say that we have done our part to sensitize, because children are one of the best teachers and best learners. They will be the one, if we can teach them, they will teach their parents, and then it will go on. So that's what I feel.
Thank you, Josephine. You summed up really well. Dr. Gulshan?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, Doctor. We've just heard three young ladies talking about, you know, the challenges in mentally challenged children, and they mentioned the problems at school, at home, and we need a more caring society to help children who are in this situation. So before we wind up, a word or two from you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. In fact, I heard each and every word between the lines, every speaker, whatever they have conveyed. Few things I would like to share. I hope my signal stays, because I'm traveling at this point of time and I'm logging in while traveling. So few things which comes to my mind. You must have watched and show it to your children also in your school. There's a Sir Ken Robinson. Sir Ken Robinson, British author, international advisor on education. We lost him on 21st August 2020. There are more than 4,000 videos available on the YouTube. If you go through his things, you will come to know the person who got polio at the age of 4, and he rose to the highest level when you think about policy, when you think about strategy, when you think about school education, when you think about creativity, when you think about innovation, all that, when you back towards one thing, one name comes to my mind, that is Sir Ken Robinson. Secondly, I met another gentleman in America. He's a born Australian American now. If you know Nicholas James, again, you should see on the YouTube. I would request everybody. There is a particular kind of a disease, I do not know what do we call it, when you're born with the absence of arms and legs. He doesn't have arms, he doesn't have legs. And you see his daily routine, you see his entire program. Nature has bestowed, and somewhere we should, I do not know myself, and somebody mentioned, because I could not register the name at that point of time. I think it was Fancon, if I correctly understood, when she told there are a lot of higher ups in the government officials, other places and all, when their children have got some disformity or some problem or some difficulty, then the awareness multiplies. What my request to you is, I would like to give you a small homework and home task, because good teacher is who gives the homework. Otherwise, there is no fun. So the homework is, first of all, please tell me, is there any association of special teachers of Northeast India? Is there any association of special education teachers of Northeast India? If it is not there, please form one, because it would help you when you are individual, when you are alone, it is altogether different. But when you are coming as a lobby, when you're coming as a forum, when you're coming as a chamber, when you're coming as an association, your voice would be heard. So there should be a collective kind of an effort which should be put in. And I'm ready to give you an opportunity, because United Nations, of course, it observes a special day for the special children, 3rd of December, which is very far. We cannot wait till that time. let's choose one particular day. Mr. Tyrone can decide. Bring all the 8 state stakeholders together for the deliberation and discussion. We should request the union minister to inaugurate that particular program. When she inaugurates, she will come to know what exactly is the problem. We cannot discuss on this forum personal problems. We have to discuss collective problems. This chamber basically is taking the collective responsibility. Now I'll give you another suggestion. We want to run fast. That is something very important. And if we have to get something, we got to reach out the right people. Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. there is a special global deliberations on setting up digital university, which has been announced by Honorable Finance Minister, onto which the Honorable Prime Minister also addressed, and a couple of other people addressed. Tomorrow you are going to have 12 most powerful people of the world speaking on digital university. You should post tomorrow maximum views on the YouTube with your name, with your state, with your school, with your children, with your other collective society together. Put that point so forcefully that the voice is heard all the way to the non-resident Indians and others as well. Tomorrow, I'll try and bring 1 or 2 government officials, those are dealing with this, onto the forum. I will get in touch with the lady in Delhi who was with us on the International Women's Day when we had a special program, because these things come to the notice when somebody is suffering in your own family. 1994, when I got into the NRI's chamber, the lady who was working with me, she has got a grown-up son who is about 23, 24 years now, and he's a special child. And I learned so much from her during this particular time. Another suggestion I would like to give it to you, to bring more awareness. You might have done lots of programs. You might have done lots of interface, conferences. You got to beat it regular interval once in a month. Do it, but bring all the stakeholders together. And when you bring everybody together, do we know in all the 8 states, who are the teachers, who are the educators, who are the special teachers, who are the people, those are dealing with it? Because in my own family, my wife's elder sister and my wife, she had been associated with the special children for years together, more than 2 decades. And we have to bring some change in that as well. Why do we call them special children? I fail to understand. We should not consider anything of that kind. They are as good as us. They have got everything. The only thing is now the technology has to be used. The gadgets has to be used. The digital part has to be used. And now, do you know, I do not want to discuss, because this is not the forum to discuss, but there is so much awareness which we didn't know in this country. That is, one film has brought, and all the Twitter handles, all the Facebooks, all the media, YouTube, social media, everybody is talking about one film. Can you imagine the power of when you put something in a perspective at a right place, at a right time, before the right audience? My humble request to you would be, even if you're looking forward to some support from the central government, state government, non-resident Indians, Indian diaspora, there are lots of people those want to do, but they do not know how to reach, where to reach, whom to reach. So I personally feel, I do not know. It is Mr. Tyrone efforts, and how he has discovered 3 of you, I do not know, because this forum is altogether different. We are supposed to discuss new education policy 2020, preparing educators, preparing youth, guiding them for the positive direction. But at the same time, when he has taken a pain to have a special program on this, let us consider as a human being, because I have no answer why somebody is born that way. And even if somebody is born that way, why not to take them as a part of the ecosystem of education? We got to take them like any other child. And why do we always look forward to, I'm telling you, world over, there are people, those are stinkingly rich, they can support, but we should know which door to be knocked. That is something very, very important. Now, Honorable Union Minister for Women and Child Development is Madam Smriti Irani, very dynamic woman, and she's always emotionally connected with the children, with the women, with everybody and all that. Write a letter to her. What stops you? And bring all the 8 states together. Put the letterhead on the top. Special Teachers Association of Northeast India. Work out the strategy. Reach out the right place and let your voice be traveling to the right doors at the right time through Mr. Tyrone. I'm sure you will see the daylight. Thank you very much. It was a great gratitude to all 3 of you. Thank you very much for this special program. And thank you very much for joining us over here. But let me see, and don't post. That was Fancon's mic. Okay, so don't tomorrow only post your views. Please, with the views, write your name, write Shillong, write your school, write your institution. Let the world know. Let me see your strength tomorrow. How many people you bring, how much awareness you want to bring. At the end of the discussion, I want all the honorable vice chancellors and non-resident Indians, those are coming tomorrow, they should finally say, who is Josephine Lyngdoh? Who is Fancon? And who is this Charissa? Who are these people? Where are they? And what exactly is the problem? If you rock it, you get it. So we got to keep rowing the boat. We will work in that particular direction. I'm a very positive person. I always think very positive. And you know, Mr. Dilip Mukherjee, he's my mentor. I hold him in a great respect. Today, it's a privilege that he is posting the views on the YouTube, on the global level, when from the different countries people are participating. I have forgotten Mr. Tyrone. I'm just remembering Mr. Dilip Mukherjee because he's right over there on the YouTube. Mr. Tyrone is just visible to me on this camera, that's all. So before I cross Sonipat, I think I got to go off the air now. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to the technology. At least the bandwidth was there. My audio I could hear. My audio I could hear. And I have heard each and every word. And this program, no, Fancon, I can't have your mic on. Your mic is giving me a problem. Yes. So maybe my car is having a lot of wind. I do not know. But whatever is happening. So Mr. Tyrone, thank you very much. And all the ladies, God bless all of us. And pray to Almighty and ask this question to God. Why somebody is born that way? Why we all are not born equal? Why somebody is, I can't see. I come from the armed forces background. I can't see anybody suffering. I can't see. I can remain hungry for days together, but I would like to give my bread, my loaf, my rice, my dal, my chapati to somebody else. I don't want to see anybody suffering. All of us collectively, let's work in the direction. Education is the only way we can bring equality in the world. Nobody is special. All children are same. They are the God gift. They are the God's messenger. God has sent them that way. And that is the way we should take on the entire thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhushan.
Look forward to seeing all of you.